Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Sorry it's been so long. Lots of things have happened in my life, and I'm going to make a video soon talking about that to give you guys a bit of a rundown. But here I have an episode that I recorded with Mark back in November. I hope you enjoy, and I hope to be back to weekly episodes very soon, or at least more consistent. Please stick around for the whole episode. It's a really good one, hearing the rest of Mark's story. I'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 37 of Backpacks and Stories. After this little hiatus, and I'm back today with.
Marc, hello, how are you?
How are you doing?
Very good. I didn't know it was already chapter 37.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think you were episode 7.
Wow.
So there's been a couple of installments since. And I've had a little break since I've been back in the UK. I did a couple of episodes, but yeah, it's been very uninspiring and busy life. So
Working hard, making money for your next trips.
yeah, something like that. Something like that.
We have to, sadly.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. But we are here today in Barcelona.
Yay.
This is the fourth time we met each other.
The
Consciously.
fourth? Yeah, consciously. Brazil, Chile, Canada, Barcelona.
Yeah, in your hometown, home city. So how's life been? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been back in Barcelona for something like 7 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that when I was gonna land here, I was gonna have like a short time of a bit of a rest, not doing much, just relaxing, enjoying the comfort of being at my parents' place, and then kind of making a decision of what I wanted to do with my life. Not like definitely, but something a little bit more long term.
Yeah.
It's been 7 months. I'm still in the break, in the resting part.
Well, yeah, with reason as well. It's nice to be with your parents, and it's a lovely place here. So
Yeah, I mean, the house is amazing. Well, the flat is super nice. Happy to be with my parents, with my friends. Barcelona is a nice city. Some things that I didn't finish yet, and
like what?
The main one, my camper van. I'm building my camper van for too long. One day I will finish it. I thought it would be finished by something like last month and this month.
Yeah.
Hopefully I finish it before the end of the year.
And where do you want to go with your van?
I'm not planning a big trip. When I mean a big trip for you and me, for other people that would probably be a huge trip. But
Did you want a mate, by the way?
no, thank you. I'm planning to go to Amsterdam, like going through France because I have some friends there, Belgium, Holland, and then the Netherlands, and probably be driving back.
Okay, nice. But it depends on the code.
It depends on many things, but I didn't want it to do it in like cold winter, and it looks like if I do it, it's probably gonna be in the winter.
Yeah. And where do you have your next trip planned outside of Europe?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, because I was thinking of doing something more stable with my life, and nowadays that I don't have any working holidays visa left, um, doing something more stable means staying in Europe.
Yeah.
Because
Or a
I mean,
student visa.
or
a student visa.
or a student visa that I don't wanna, or the illegal stay that I don't wanna do either. So yeah, looks like I'm probably gonna be in Europe for a little bit long term.
Yeah.
But you know me, maybe next week I tell you that I'm going to somewhere else.
You need a bit of change. Yeah. But you haven't got any closer to deciding about long-term ideas.
No, there's one idea that keeps like popping up in my mind about going into the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
The other idea would be staying in Barcelona. Like long term, Barcelona is like the easy choice for me.
Mm-hmm.
My family, friends, and my comfort zone is here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I like warm weather, and I think the Canary Islands is a good mix of like having warm weather, not doing to do any paperwork because it's still Spain,
Yeah.
and having I don't know same language or language that I speak, and easy connection with Barcelona, like
Mhm.
flight connection. It's a pretty good option. I'm just not convinced 100%. Otherwise, I would be there already.
Have you ever been 100% convinced of anything?
I mean, 100% no, but like I don't know what was the percentage, but I was sure I wanted to go to Brazil. I was sure I wanted to do an Erasmus. I was sure I wanted to go to Australia. Never is 100%, but
Yeah.
I was pretty sure. And with the Canary Islands, I don't know how much sure I am, but it's not that sure.
Maybe that has to do with like because you think of it as this permanent decision, you know?
Could be, I'm scared about everything which is long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be a point. Yeah, I mean, if I was thinking of going to Canary Islands for 3 months, obviously I should
Yeah,
go.
you do it.
Yeah,
Why didn't you try that first?
I could, but I was trying to go to a place or stay in a place, but trying to look for something like at least 1 year, but something like 2 years
Yeah.
thing to try something different because I've been doing like a lot of short term things, like pretty short, like 3 months or less than 3 months things.
Yeah.
Even though I went to Australia and the original plan was 9 months, but I stayed for 3 years. But that was something that I was building slowly.
Yeah, and it was still like you were just changing at that time. It wasn't, you didn't stay in one place for 3 years.
Same in Canada. I went there for 8 months, and I moved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, but first I want to finish my camper van. When I finish that, maybe I just go to the Canary Islands for a few months.
Would you want to take the van with you there, or it's too far?
No, the thing with the van is that I have it half with a friend. So my idea is just make it a camper van, travel a little bit with it, and then sell it after that.
Yeah.
It's kind of my pilot test, this van, because it was the first van that I did all the insulation, I did all the electrical system, and then I left, and then when I came back, now I'm doing the rest of the things, the water, the gas, the furniture, and all this. So it's kind of like a test.
Your new project, your new business.
Who knows? And nowadays I'm like, no, I'm not building camper vans as a business. But after I stop for a while, maybe I go back on this. I would like to have my own business someday, and I don't know in which area.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, obviously, I know more than many other areas. So
Yeah.
that one could be the one. We'll see.
Could be.
Could
You're
be.
still with time, man. Still with time.
Yeah, I have time for many things. For other things, I still have time, like becoming a dad. But obviously, I wouldn't be like having my first kid when I'm 50.
Yeah. What do you think is your cutoff?
I mean, I would like to have my kids before like 45. My kids, because I'm thinking of having 2 kids.
Yeah.
I would like to have them before that.
So you're like 43 is kind of like.
Well, if you ask me, we would have the first one when I'm 40,
Yeah, of course. Or now. But
Well,
still not now, actually.
Still not now, no, still not now. Like, give me a couple of years more. Yeah.
See what happens in the next couple of years. You might still make it happen.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows? Like, when you get to this age, things go in that way. They go pretty quicker than when you're younger.
Yeah.
At least in Spain. Some other countries, they just turn 20 and they start having kids.
Yeah, I don't don't know if it's just a country thing. I think it's very individual, very circumstantial.
Yes, but there's some countries that they tend to have kids when they are
This is true.
younger, and other ones that they do it when they are older.
This is definitely true. But we weren't those people.
We want them.
We weren't
No.
those people. Yeah.
Of course not.
So let's dive a little bit back into your story. Last time we got to anyone who hasn't seen the episode before, we did it was about 2 hours long, and you talked about your experiences doing Erasmus in France, working in Brazil, your Southeast Asia trip. I think that was, and India. I think you covered as well.
Yeah, because India was before Southeast Asia.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you want to kind of pick up wherever you want?
Well, I mean, yeah, after Southeast Asia, like my first solo trip, it was like 2 months traveling with someone else and then 4 months on my own. I loved it. I went back to Europe because my cousin's wedding, not because I wanted to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I was like, oh, what should I do with my life? Like, it happens every year for me. And then it came to my mind, okay, I'm gonna go to Australia. I was convinced. I don't know how much, but I was convinced I wanted to go to Australia. And then I look up what to do, and every country has a different agreement. Well, there's a few kinds of agreements, and then Spain, we need some like university studies. We don't have
2
to
years
finish them,
of
but
studies.
yeah, 2 years, and then some money in your bank account, and proof of your English level. So the two first ones I had them, but I didn't have an English certificate or anything. Well, I actually had it, but it was from 10 years ago or
And
something.
doesn't count.
It counts only for if it's 2 years or less.
Okay.
And then so I had to go to an English school to sign up for the exam and then study a little bit, and then they gave me the date for maybe like 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after. I went, I did the exam, and then they took another 2-3 weeks to give me the results.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got the results, I went on the website,
Yeah.
and I wanted to apply for the work and holidays, and they were gone. So I was so sad because I made all this thing because I wanted to go to Australia. And then I thought, well, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, instead of going the work and holiday in Australia, we also have the option in New Zealand that, but it's pretty hard. Like after a few minutes, they are gone because there's only a few spots. And then we have the option of Japan, South Korea, and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not very interested in Asian culture. Like,
No?
I'm interested. I like to see it, but I don't want to live in there. So South Korea and Japan weren't options. Australia and New Zealand were gone, and Canada, I don't like the cold, but it was the only option that I thought, okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And then I applied for Canada, but it works a little bit different than with the Australian. You go into a pool, and then wherever the pool is on, they can start picking up names. So it was the end of the year, and then one of my friends from football, on the 1st of 2nd of January, he sent me a message because he had been already in Australia, and he told me, have you seen that they have duplicated the amount of visas for Spanish in Australia? I'm like, what? So the day after that, I applied for the Australian working holiday visa.
How far apart was this from when you took the English test?
No, I was like less than 2 months.
Okay.
Less than 2 months. And then and I already had applied for the Canadian working holiday, but I didn't get an answer yet.
Yeah.
So when I applied for the Australian, a few days after, I got an answer from the Canadian, and I'm like, I don't want to go because I want to go to Australia. So I waited a little bit, and then I got the approval of the Australian one, and I then go to Canada.
Yeah.
But the thing
Not
is, not yet. And the thing is that I didn't reject it.
Yeah.
I just didn't answer, because that's important. Because apparently, if you reject it, then you cannot apply again or something like this.
Might have been true at the time. I don't think that's true
Okay.
now.
Wherever it was something like this, but then I went to Australia. My plan was to stay there for I got the visa approved to go to Australia. First, I got like the answer from the Australian government. You need to upload this document, and between this time and I actually got the visa approved, I bought the van that I'm building as a camper van right now. Okay, with this friend, because we wanted to start a business that sadly didn't go well. Okay, so we got the van, I got the visa approved, and then instead of leaving at the time when I got the visa approved, because we had already the van and we wanted to start this business, we had to do the installation, the electrical installation, and all this. I stayed for longer than I didn't just left right away.
Yeah.
I stayed until we finished that. So I stayed.
So you had all of the insulation and electrics done in the van 6 years ago. 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, but we have changed the electrical installation.
Okay.
But yeah, we've done it 6 years ago, because the business we wanted to start was, my friend works in movies and series and advertisement shooting, and he sometimes drives people. He got some gear into the van and then dropped some other places, and then he said, why we don't build a van that can be at the same time a van for transportation, for like taking gear, cameras, sound stuff, and all these kind of things, and a green room at the same time, so the actors can get changed. So we did that. It looked pretty cool. It looked pretty nice. But we took good 6 months to do all this. Okay, and then one day I was at a nightclub, and one of my friends in the nightclub we were drinking and chatting. He told me, "Man, I'm going to Australia." Like, what the fuck? I'm going too. And then I went to Australia 2 days before he went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he went. He was going with 4 more friends from his childhood.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Okay.
Well, I knew, I had seen one of them 3-4 times, but all still partying. So, and my friend, I met him maybe 20 times before going to Australia, but 19 we were drunk. So it wasn't like a close friend. It was just one guy that we partied a few times together. And then we went to Australia and we became best friends. We did absolutely everything together. I landed there, and I remember when I landed, he told me my friends and I, we are looking for a place to stay, because we just arrived in Sydney. Everything was so expensive compared to here, and blah blah blah. And in the beginning, it's hard to get a job, and they were looking for something cheap. But I said, okay, look, I did this Southeast Asia trip on my own, and I enjoyed it so much. And my idea was to come to Australia on my own. So it's not that I'm not gonna meet you guys, but I don't want to live with you. I want to live with some other people that I don't know yet, and get to know new people, speak English, and blah blah blah. And then we can meet each other every now and then. And they say, okay. So I started looking on my own. They started looking for them, but they were 5 in total. And then they met another Spanish guy in the hostel where they were staying while looking for the apartment. And then they found an apartment for 7 people, so they were already 6 and 1 missing. Then they called me and they said, look, Marc, there's the apartment, it's that much money, and it was something what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to make a decision, but I finally decided to move in with them, and it was the best decision I could make, because we had so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. We didn't speak English. We were speaking Catalan and Spanish the whole time.
Were they all Catalans?
They were all Catalans, except for the extra guy that they met there, who was Spanish. So we were speaking Spanish with this guy, and then Catalan between us. with my friend, that the one I knew from here, I told him like, look, okay, I'm moving to here with you guys, but at least we should try to speak a little bit English, even if it's beginner's. Yeah, because I was living in Australia and I was speaking just Catalan. You know, it took me like a month to get a job. So for the first month, I was just speaking Catalan. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because you didn't have even other people to speak to, because the people you meet in Australia normally are hostels or your jobs. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when I landed in Australia, I stayed. I was partying again. You know, in my previous life, I was partying a lot. I don't do that anymore. But one day I was partying here in Barcelona before I left Australia, and I just crossed path with a guy that went to my school. We weren't friends, but I knew him and he knew me. So we just started chatting. Hey, how are you? How are your life going? Blah blah. And I told him that I was leaving to Australia in a few weeks. And he told me, oh, one of my best friends lives in Sydney. Just if you want, I send you his contact, and then you can chat, and he will probably host you for the first days because everything is super expensive there. And I said, okay, why not? And I texted this guy, which I never met. He was the friend of one guy that even he didn't. He wasn't my friend. He wasn't my friend. He was just like someone that I knew from school, but. That's it. And this guy was Catalan, but he was super nice. I arrived there. He just offered me the couch for 1 week or 1.5 weeks, something like this. Yeah. Until I moved with my other friends. So I arrived and I didn't knew anyone in the hostel because I were in a hostel. I just spoke Catalan with this guy, with my friends, and then. When I moved into my friend's place, one of them knew someone that had a friend who worked in this kind of companies that gather the students, the foreign students, go study. Have you heard about it?
I know there are heaps of them. But...
Yeah, so one of them.
Yeah.
And then this guy was Catalan. So we met that guy and he introduced us his Catalan friends. So we were like a ghetto.
Catalan community which is growing and growing.
We were a ghetto, like a Catalan community ghetto there in Sydney.
Not even any Spanish, just Catalan.
Catalan. With one Spanish guy in the group. And yeah, but after that I started my job. There was an Argentinian guy there, we became friends. And slowly everyone was getting jobs and meeting other people and getting to... I remember the first time, after maybe 2 months we were in the apartment, we tried to make a party in our place. No one came, because we didn't still know enough people.
Yeah.
But then the week before we left, it was like 3 months after we arrived. Wow, we had a crazy party in the apartment. I cannot understand how the neighbors didn't complain.
Was it a Latin party, all Latinos?
Yeah. I'm not sure if there were anyone who didn't speak Spanish. Yeah, I think everyone spoke Spanish, but it was a mix of Spanish people, Catalan, Argentinian. It was a little bit more mixed.
Yeah. So with time, you still didn't really end up speaking much English in Sydney.
Only at work. Only at work. But at some point I had 2 jobs. That was crazy times also, because I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks. But oh my god, you know me, I love to sleep.
Yeah.
So my first job I got in Sydney, it was as a waiter. Never in my life I had worked as a waiter. But I told them that I had a lot of experience. Okay. And well, the story is that this guy that works in this gathering company, he gave us a briefing of how to find a job in Australia.
Yeah.
And they told us, you have to lie in your CV if you're gonna get a job.
Of course.
You have to tell that you have experience. No matter what kind of job you want to apply for, you have to say that you have experience. And I was like, okay, I made like 3 different kind of CVs, one for waiter, one for warehouse, the other one for cleaning or something like this. And then I don't know why, but I wanted to work as a waiter. I prefer to work as a waiter than in a warehouse or anything else. So I put a little bit more effort to find a job as a waiter. But the first week I said in my CV that I had 1 year experience, and I sent maybe 100 CVs. No one replied. So the second week I decided to say that I had 2 years experience. No one called me. So the third week I put 3 years experience. No one called me. So the fourth week I said I had 4 years experience as a waiter, and finally
You got one job,
I got one job, but half part time.
but 4 years of experience.
Oh.
But you were just applying online.
I was applying online, and I went to a couple of places to hand my CV, but it was mainly online.
Yeah.
The one I got, it was online.
I think it's really hard to get a job online in Australia as well.
I don't know. I've done both things, like going there and online, and I got more jobs online than just going there. Yeah, I got maybe like 2 or 3 jobs just handing my CV like this. The other ones were online, but because I was applying, everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying that based on, I think for me, most of my jobs were just because I knew someone.
Oh, that's the best way. Yeah,
Definitely the
that's
best
the
way.
best way. Yeah.
But
I got a couple of
online, I think I only got like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Obviously, I got few jobs because I knew someone. But at the beginning, you're just there. You don't know anyone. And
Yeah, you don't know anyone. There's no work.
And then I got this part-time job, but I never stopped. I kept looking for jobs. Obviously, not at the same pace. I wasn't sending 100 tweets per day anymore. Yeah. And then I was applying for wherever I was left because I already had applied for all the waiter jobs. So after a few weeks, I got a job, a full-time job in a warehouse.
Yeah.
So I was working from 7:30 or 7. I think it was 7 in the morning. Something like this, 7 in the morning to 2 p.m. Going back home, eating something, going to work as a waiter, finishing at 11 p.m., going back home, eating something, going to sleep at midnight, waking up at 5:45, catching my bus at 6, working at 7. And that was my job for, I think it was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Sleeping 5 hours and 45 minutes from Monday to Friday. And I love to sleep. It was so hard because the waiter job, I was moving around.
Yeah.
But in the warehouse job, depending on the day, I was sitting and scanning clothes and
It
things
wasn't
like
an
that.
active warehouse job.
It wasn't very active.
Okay.
Some days it was a little bit more. Some others was pretty like chill. Man, the days that I was sitting down, I was falling asleep. So they basically fired me.
Really?
Well, I mean, at some point they told me. The funny thing is that at the end of the first week, they told me, "Oh, we're very happy with you," because I was still like with some energy. We're very happy with you. We want to know if you're being gonna be here for Christmas, because Christmas we usually get more work. I'm like, yeah. Then 2 weeks after, they told me, "Look, we are not getting my job now, much of work now. Sorry, but don't come next week."
Was this with the company or was it with an agency or?
It was with an agency.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they just called someone else the day after. I mean, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't very productive. I was falling asleep the whole time.
But you got what you needed. You had a few weeks of a lot of work at the start of your Australia when you need money.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing.
I needed money. I had 1 month of no work, and then which is the first month, you have to pay the bond for the house. You have to pay the rent as always, but you have to pay the bond. You just came from Spain for a very expensive flight, and it was money. For the first month, I was living in a house with 7 people. No one was working, so you can imagine we were partying so much. And then when I got this second job, it was like, wow, I need to make money now. And before they fired me, I was thinking like, should I leave the waiter job or the warehouse job? Because I wanted to stay in the waiter job. I wanted to learn how to be a waiter. Because I worked as a waiter in different places in Australia.
Yeah.
But in warehouse, I think only 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's nothing you have to learn to work in a warehouse.
Yeah. You learn it in one day.
But I was making more money in the warehouse, so I was thinking, what should I do? And finally, they made the decision for me. Yeah, that was it, and that was my period in Sydney. After that, I stayed 1 more month working only as a waiter.
Remind me when you arrived in Australia. It was around the same time as me, like October.
Yeah, end of October. End of 2019. I landed in Sydney. I spent there the rest of the year, and then at mid-January, I moved. No, mid-January we did a trip with all these people in the apartment. We all left the apartment, and we flew to. I don't remember the place. I don't think it was Adelaide. No, I think we flew to Adelaide. Yeah, we flew to Adelaide. We rented a car, and we did the whole drive from Adelaide to Melbourne, through the all the coast and all the Great Ocean Road and all this. And then I stayed in Melbourne, and one guy was going to New Zealand, and the other ones were staying back in Sydney. Because my plan was to be in Australia for 9 months, because I had a wedding in Brazil. And my plan was 3 months in Sydney, 3 months in Melbourne, and then 3 months we'll see. We'll see. And then I did my 3 months in Sydney, a little bit more, 3.5. And then moved to Melbourne, and after 3 weeks, I got no, actually I got a job just when I landed, but it was a coach, like football coach job. It was 2 days or 1 day 2 days per week, I think, 1 hour. So I was spending more money in the train than what I was earning.
Yeah.
And then after 3 weeks, something like that, I got a job in an Italian restaurant as a waiter, but again only part time. And then 1 week after, I got a job in a Israeli restaurant for in the early afternoons, like for lunch.
And this is now going to be about end of Feb, so this is when COVID was coming very close.
Exactly. 2 weeks after I got the job in the Israeli restaurant, COVID started.
Yeah.
So in 2 days, I didn't have any of the 3 jobs. Actually, I had another job where I was like delivering like on the streets, just handing the pamphlets to people.
Okay, yeah.
Shitty job. I hated it, but I was hired, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go there, give a couple of them, put them the other ones in the bin, and when they fire me, they fire me. I didn't like this job. It was so annoying. But they didn't even have time to fire me, because after I'd done 2 or 3, and then COVID came. So, and then 4 jobs that I had gone.
Yeah.
And luckily, I met a Portuguese girl when I was in Sydney, and she moved to Melbourne as well. And we met one day in Melbourne, and then when COVID happened, I was like, fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen, but the weather end of February, beginning of March, the weather in Melbourne was shit.
No, it was good.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it was shit.
It was like mid-20s.
No, but it was raining.
Sometimes, but not always.
It was raining, and it wasn't mid-20s. It was colder.
It was not cold.
Yeah. It was shit. I told this girl, I'm not staying in Melbourne, and she said, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day after, they said, we are closing the borders between the states.
Yeah.
And I said, do you wanna go somewhere else with me? And she said, yeah, okay. And I was so lucky, because through a friend, I met one day one girl in Spain that she knew a guy who was going to Australia, and he came to visit. Like, he was in Sydney, so he stayed at our place in Sydney for 1 week or something.
Yeah.
And then he told me, okay, I found this workaway thing in close to Brisbane. If you wanna go, and I contacted them, and they said, yeah, you can both come here. And then the day that they were closing the borders, we took a flight and flew to Brisbane.
Yeah.
And there I met this Spanish couple that are from Malaga, south of Spain, that became my super best friends. Them too, and then my friend that I knew here in Barcelona. So I spent maybe 3 months there in Queensland without my friend, with this Portuguese girl. We stayed in this workaway for 2 weeks. The guy was bipolar. He was crazy. He was super nice, and then suddenly he just exploded.
The guy who runs the workaway,
Yeah.
or not the mutual connection.
No,
Okay.
the guy who runs the workaway. He just bought a huge, like a big house with a lot of land, and he wanted some people to help him to clean the land. And he got like 11 volunteers. Because of COVID, it was so easy for him to pick people, and because the house was so big, we were 4 in one room, 3 in the other one, or whatever. But we were all 11 in the house. Everyone was super nice, but the guy was crazy. So after 2 times that he just became crazy and started shouting, we just said, the 11 of us said, okay, bye bye.
You all just left.
But it was during COVID,
Yeah.
so it was super hard to find a place to stay, and it were even harder for 11 people.
Were the hostels open? Or?
No. We found, because of some of them had camper vans. I had a camping tent, and we found a camping spot that allowed us. It was open only for emergencies,
Yeah.
and we said, look, we don't have a place to stay, and that's an emergency. Please let us stay.
What can they say?
And we stayed there for like 1 week. Then we went to another Airbnb. I don't know how this Airbnb allowed us to go. A super beautiful house, and then we split ways. I was calling every day to all the farms trying to get a job, and then finally I got a job for the Portuguese girl and me in an old couple house. They were 60s, around the 60s, that they needed some help with the land as well, because they had a lot of land and it was a mess. And they had some animals and blah blah. They were running an organic chicken farm.
Okay.
And it was very nice. I spent there until like 3 months, and then the last 2 weeks, my friend from Barcelona joined me there. And after that, well, during these 3 months, I was meeting all the time with this couple. So when my friend came, he also met them, and we become all super friends and whatever. And after that, it was just the time that COVID restrictions were kind of relaxing a little bit. So this friend and I, we got a job as a waiters in Fraser Island. It was super nice because we were the first backpackers to arrive.
Really?
Yeah, because when COVID hit, they fired all the backpackers.
Yeah.
They only kept the permanent
Yeah,
workers. So they fired all the backpackers, and we were the first ones to arrive. And there weren't many people, many guests, and everything was so calm, so quiet. And because of us being the first backpackers to arrive, we got a very nice accommodation on the island. Because the other backpackers that came after that, they were getting like shared rooms, and we got a private room for us with a toilet, and it was super nice. And the island is amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. Super cool. Have you ever been?
No, Fraser Island is one of the places I still haven't been.
Wow, it's super nice. Super nice. I loved it. There's Lake Mackenzie in the middle of the island with pristine water. It's so beautiful. And then we stayed, I don't remember, 2 months there, something like that. And I wanted to stay a bit longer because I was super comfortable there. But my friend wanted to leave because one of our friends was about to leave Australia.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do some trip around before leaving. And again, I was like thinking, what should I do? I go with him or I stay here? And I decided to go with him. And we did a pretty good short trip, but it was pretty nice. Like we did all the north part of New South Wales
Yeah.
because our friends didn't want to cross the border because it wasn't allowed to cross the borders.
Yeah.
So they were scared to cross the border, and we said no. It was actually allowed to cross from Queensland to New South Wales, but not the opposite way.
Yeah.
So we went down, and then after the trip, we bought our van empty, and we crossed to Queensland to a hippie community that we knew. Then there's an old guy, super nice guy. He was brewing some beer in his place and getting all the community to drink at his place every Friday.
Yeah.
And we stayed there for 12 days. That's the fastest I've ever camperized a van. I didn't do. It was crazy. And a big van, a Ford Transit, like a tall one. We bought all the wood and all the electrics. That because of the van I camperized here, I knew how to do all the electrics.
How many have you done now in total, by the way?
Like six.
6, including this one.
Yeah. Something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. 12 days was the fastest I've ever done it. We didn't do insulation. We didn't do any other. We did only electricity and furniture. That's it. But still, it was super quick.
Yeah.
Super quick. Because we told the guy we're gonna be here for 3-4 days. But the guy was super nice. And then we left and we did the whole loop of Australia in one go. That was crazy.
Wow. In one go.
Like 7 months. A little bit less. It was 6.5 or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to all the states. We even went to Canberra to say that we went to all the states. With the van, we went to Tasmania. We took the van and crossed to Tasmania. It was super nice. But one of the guys said, like, it was 3 of us. The guy I met here, one of his friends from here, and me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them said, like, at some point it would have been probably nicer to stop and work for a little bit and then keep traveling.
Yeah.
Because it was like, again, one beach, 7 miles, beautiful white sand, pristine water, but we've seen 20 like this in the last 10 days, you know?
You kind of take it for granted a little
Yeah.
bit. You forget, sometimes you forget where you actually are and, you know, what you're doing, how special it is.
Totally. I agree with him. He was right. But it was also kind of cool to say, okay, I've done it in one go, you know?
Yeah, it's cool.
It was very nice experience. Very happy. And
Did you go all the way up to Cape York?
No, we went to Cairns.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Daintree?
The Daintree we went, but yeah, we went into the Daintree. But it was like maybe we didn't go to Cape York. It was like 2 hours drive from Cairns. No, not more than that. We just went into the Daintree, stayed one night there, and then drove back. We didn't go very deep into the Daintree. No, but I mean, we did almost the whole thing. You know, it was crazy what we did. So crazy, and we were very lucky. We had just a couple of issues with the van. We had to stop twice in the mechanic, and also very lucky with all the borders closed and open and all the mess during COVID and all this. We've seen like Australia empty.
Yeah.
We had all the places for us.
So true.
Which was paradise, but at the same time we were like, when are we finding a man with 3 girls, you know? Never happened. But yeah, it was an amazing trip. I loved it. Very nice. And then when we finished the whole loop, one of them stayed for 2 months longer, and then he left.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gerard and me, the other guy, we stayed even longer together with the couple of South Spain. We got together with them and we work in different places together, and we've done great adventures. And in this time where just after the trip, we started the trip in Sydney because it's where we bought the van.
Yeah.
And then we finished in Sydney. We arrived there by my birthday.
Okay.
And then this couple of Malaga came, we went to a boat party, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, we drove to Nusa. And the
Wait, sorry. Which way around did you go? You went up through Queensland first, or you finished in Queensland?
no, we went to Queensland first.
Okay.
Because where we built the camper van was in Queensland. So we bought the van in Sydney, empty. We drove to close to Nusa, built the camper van, and then actually start traveling. Then
Because that was when you couldn't go back into Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we finished, it was a very kind of changing time, in a bit of a inflection point
Mm-hmm.
in our trip in Australia, because after that we went to Nusa, we met with our friends, and I was trying to hit on a girl, British girl, on a party, before a party, no? Because she was parked in the same camping as we were, no? And we were drinking, and suddenly she says like, guys, do you want that? And I'm like, what is this? LSD. I was super drunk, and my friends went to each other like, okay. I don't remember much because I was too drunk.
Was that your first time taking?
It was the first time for all of us.
Oh really?
It wasn't my first time trying drugs.
You'd taken mushrooms before?
No, I had tried peyote and MDMA once, but I didn't feel anything. And smoked weed twice, but I didn't feel anything. And this time, I don't know if I felt anything or not because I don't remember.
I would imagine yes.
But my friends, wow, they felt it. They really felt it because she offered us, but we were like 6 people, so it was like a tiny bit for everyone.
Okay.
And then after 5 minutes, the girl said like, "Guys, I shared that with you, but that's nothing. We need to get more." And I remember this part. That I don't know how we started talking to a guy, and I was buying more energy from this guy. And I remember telling my friends, hey, I bought drugs for the first time. And we had it, and I don't remember almost anything of that night. Just like 3 stars moving around, all the people, because we went to a loop after.
Yeah.
And at some point, there was something in the sky, 3 lights that were spinning and doing some weird. We don't know what was that. Probably the satellites or this kind of thing.
Maybe just aliens.
Maybe, probably not, but maybe. But all the party was like, wow. I only remember that. And then when it was sunny again, the sun rising was pretty cool. And then all laughing and chatting, and we had to check out of the hostel, and I was so worried, like, guys, it's the time to check out, come on. But because of that day, we started having drugs in Australia, and that was why it changed our experience, because after that, this third guide of the loop, he left, but the other one and me, we stayed for way longer. We didn't know. We just applied for the COVID visa. We had 1 year of visa, but we didn't know how it was gonna go. We didn't know what to do, and
because by this point you'd passed the age limit for working holiday.
Yeah. For me,
It's too old.
yeah, and for me, COVID was like
A blessing.
a blessing, totally. I'm sorry for most of the people, but for me, it was a blessing because I could extend, and I got 1.5 extra years of visa. Well, I stayed in total 2 years and 9 months.
This is the really crazy thing as well, because we arrived almost exactly the same time, and then we left on the same day on the same flight.
That's crazy.
Back to Europe. We were in the same. We actually crossed. Well, no. I think I left Australia a few days before you, because I went to Singapore for a few days, but then we were on the same flight from Singapore to Athens, and then also in Athens for the same few days. We'd also crossed paths one other time at a hostel from what we've calculated, but we never met each other then. You know, so we crossed paths at least twice that we know of, without actually meeting each other.
Yeah, the first time we crossed paths was in Early Beach.
Yeah.
Because after that, I stayed a few days in a hostel, and then I went to work in Hamilton Island.
Mm-hmm.
That was my last job before leaving Australia.
Oh, really?
And my best job. I was driving the buggy, the golf cart,
Yeah.
electric, in an island where there were only buggies. Like, that was the only vehicle. A couple of vans, but like counting them, maybe 5 in total. You know?
Yeah.
The rest were just buggies, and I was picking people from the airport, driving them to the Airbnb houses. That was the best job I had. So easy and so chill.
Remind me again when you met Marcelo.
Okay, so right after we tried drugs for the first time,
He just appeared.
almost like a genius. No, it was after that. The third guy left, and Gerard and I we decided to go north. We went to Cairns. We had a really good time there. Gerard got out of control with drugs. I finally felt the MDMA. I finally felt high in my life, but I felt obviously peyote, but that was different. We went to a music festival, which I never liked before,
Yeah.
and after that I loved them. That was the best music festival I've ever been in my life, because we were living in Cairns in a hostel with like we made a group of like 30 people.
30 people.
Something like this. Everyone spoke Spanish. Chileans, Argentinians, Uruguayans, everywhere. People from everywhere. Everyone spoke Spanish. One of them was Marcelo.
Yeah.
And we went to this festival with Marcelo. You can imagine him there. And wow, it was crazy. Like such a beautiful situation. All the group. It was super nice. The place was amazing. It was a super hippie festival. Like everyone was walking barefoot, and there was a river where you could go walk for a little bit and then swim there, have a shower because there weren't any showers. It was super nice. I loved that festival. It was so cool, so nice. And yeah, and we met Marcelo at the hostel, but he was working, I think, in the mines or something like this.
Yeah,
so
he was doing fly in, fly out.
yeah, we didn't see him that much, so we didn't get close, very close there. But after that, we moved to different places, and actually, straight from Cairns, we went to the Grain in Adelaide, and that is where we lived a Big Brother situation of living together, working together, and all the things that happened together.
Yeah, I remember some of the stories.
And we went there 8 people, 4 boys and 4 girls, and then Marcelo and what was the name? Caro
Yeah.
joined us, and then Gabi joined us. Another.
Was that the first time you met Caro, or you met her in Cairns as well?
I met her in Cairns.
Okay.
I met her in Cairns, but she doesn't talk much, so I didn't see her much in Cairns. I don't think I've ever talked to her in Cairns. But we did when we were living together, working together. That was, wow, what an experience. So there we got way closer with Marcelo, and then after that we met in other places, in other jobs. Other jobs? No, other jobs I don't think so. But in other places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was for the whole time except for when I left Sydney, and since we met again after they raised the first restrictions of COVID. It was around 3 months that I wasn't together with Gerard, but it was in total 2 years and 6 months that I was
crazy
living with Gerard, working with Gerard. Parting with Gerard.
You know, the crazy thing is now I'm realizing the last time, well, the second to last time I was here in Barcelona, I think I met him because of Marcelo.
Ah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was Marcelo was staying in his place, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy small world, and now
Yeah.
when you have these conversations and you put things together, Marcelo knows everyone, so
That's true. That's true. But yeah, that was a very, very intense period of my life.
Mhm.
Australia is so intense. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if the happiest I've ever been in my life, but I was super happy, and I was depressed as well. Because it's very intense, very intense.
it is because you're constantly living and sharing your time with people. Like, you don't really have space or time for yourself in that time. You know, life is intense. You're living with people in an intense environment. You're working with people all day. In whatever kind of job, you end up working with people, you know. So I think, like you say, it's amazing, but it is constant. It's very hard for you to find some time for yourself and just spend time with yourself. It is hard.
It's super hard. One of the things is because I don't know about you, but I've had never shared my room in my life before I went to Australia, and then I landed there and I was sharing my room with 3 more people.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was my friend. The other ones were the friends of my friends, which is not bad. But I was from not sharing with 3 more people, and then I shared my room more than 2 years in a row.
You didn't have your own room at any
The only time I had my own room was when I moved from Sydney to Melbourne. In the living room, they put a curtain, and we were 2 people sleeping in the living room. But if you stand, you could see the other guy. You know?
I don't think that really counts as your own room.
So if you don't count this one, the only time I had my own room, it was at my last job in Hamilton Island.
Yeah.
So my last 3 months. So I had 2 years and 6 months in a row sharing my room, mainly with Gerard. I mean, all the time with Gerard, except when I was with the Portuguese girl.
Mm-hmm.
The rest with Gerard, all the time.
Crazy. I had a bit more luck. I probably spent maybe not as much as half of my time, but maybe like a year in total out of the 2 years, 9 months with my own room. Maybe not as much as that, but yeah, around that.
But still.
And yeah, but for me, most of the time that I was sharing a room, it was with random people. But starting off as random people who you get to know, but like mostly in hostels.
Yeah. It's not the same. Like, at least few times I had a room just for Gerard and I.
Yeah.
You know, at least.
Yeah.
We were saying that we're husband and husband, you know, because we're doing everything together. We, at some point when we were in Cairns, we even thought about doing like a wedding. I really regret that. I really regret that we didn't do it, because it would have been so much fun. So much fun. And probably the only wedding of my life. But yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah. So you finished your trip in Ellie Beach then? You finished it, you flew from Cairns?
Well, I finished, my last job was Hamilton Island. I took a flight from there to the Gold Coast, because I had a friend there, and then from the Gold Coast I spent like 1 night.
Mm-hmm.
Then from the Gold Coast I went to Melbourne, because the Argentinian guy was there. But it was how it was. And then from Melbourne, I spent there like a week or something. And then from Melbourne, I flew to Singapore, Athens, stayed there for a couple of days.
You didn't stay in Singapore, you just...
No, it was just changing planes. Yeah. And then back home, and after 2 years and 9 months being apart from my family, I landed here on a Friday, and then next Monday I was catching a boat to go to the Balearic Islands, Mallorca.
You took a boat there.
Yeah, because one of my friends, he has the license to, how do you say, to sail.
Yeah, a sailing license, I guess.
Yeah, and then a friend of him just lent him a boat for the summer or something like this.
Lent a boat for the summer.
Yeah, because the place where he moors the boat,
Mm-hmm.
charge him a lot of money in summer. So he said like, if you want it, you have it in summer. Just I save all the money for the mooring, you know. So we went to the Balearic Islands. Balearic Islands.
Let me put the lights on here because I don't know if things are going to
It's the small ones on the left.
this one.
Yeah, and the other one as well. Yeah, that's all we can get.
Perfect.
One even that one.
No, I think this is good.
So yeah, and then
How long were you there for?
no, just a couple of days, and then I came. Well, a couple of days, but I took a flight from there to Barcelona, and the same day I was catching a ride to go to the Basque Country because I had a farewell party. No, a bachelor party.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there for a couple of days, and then I came back and stayed here for a little bit.
You had to promise your parents, I'm not going to leave you.
Kind of. No, that was crazy. But summer is always busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I stayed here. I stayed here for a while, again without knowing what to do. I actually came back because I had 3 weddings in 1 month, which I was very happy to come back, but it was very annoying. What happened to me is that my COVID visa ended in September,
Yeah.
and my last wedding was beginning of October, so I couldn't get back in Australia before my COVID visa ended. So I
and you
couldn't,
had to be there to apply for.
and you had to be in the country to apply for another one. So I missed the opportunity to apply for another COVID visa. So I didn't know what to do. I thought about applying for Canada, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay, I applied for the work and holiday in Canada. I applied beginning of January, and I decided that I was going back to Australia for 3 months with a tourist visa because Gerard and the South Spain couple, they were still there, living and working in the same place, and they told me just come here. We buy a couple of vans, we camperize them, we build them as a camper, and we sell them, and you can live in the van and in our house, like to come have a shower or whatever during this time. And I said, amazing idea. And I'm so happy I did it because wow, we were in Exmouth, beautiful place, such a nice group of people as well, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of party, and beautiful place, a lot of like sea life, and
Wait, sorry, when was this exactly in?
that was summer 2023. So when I came back summer 2022,
Yeah.
spent like 9 months in Spain, and then went back to.
No, you didn't.
I landed here.
No, because we met in Brazil in February 2023.
Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I was here until January. Ah, you're right. I was here until January, and then I went to Brazil, and I met you with Marcelo for the carnival. You're right. And then I stayed in Brazil for a little bit longer. I went to Chile. I met you again and Marcelo in Chile. Went back to Brazil. So, a couple of friends came over. We went to a wedding.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Brazil, I decided that I was going back to Australia.
But you went.
But I
you
went-
came back to
I
Spain first.
flew back to Spain,
Yeah.
Luckily, because when I was at the north of Brazil, I got this tiny, I don't know how you call it, like larva, the like kind of a small worm,
Yeah,
like a small worm that
yeah,
moves around your feet.
yeah, I know, but it's gonna frustrate me that I can't think of the word.
Well,
A leech.
leech probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leech.
And my foot was like growing big, like so swollen, and luckily that happened like my last few days in Brazil. My last day in Brazil, I arrived to a new city, Fortaleza, and I didn't went out of the hostel. I spent the whole day with my foot like this, and I went straight to the airport the day after, flew back home, and went straight to the hospital. And I spent a couple of weeks here, and then flew to Australia.
Australia.
Had so much fun. Met Marcelo again, and tried to meet the Argentinian girl again, which was a mess. Wow, that was bad. And I flew back. I flew back home. I think I spent Christmas here because I didn't spend Christmas for a while. I don't know, the previous year I spent. I don't know what happened in Christmas, but then
No, that was when you went to Puerto Rico.
that's right.
I know his life better.
That's
than
good.
you.
Thank you, man. That's true. That's true. But I spent Christmas here because I was here until the 27th or something like this. 27. Oh, no, 28, I think. And then I flew to Puerto Rico because I had another wedding. Oh, and I forgot to tell about the wedding in Vietnam. But when I was living in Australia, I went to a wedding in Vietnam.
Who had a wedding in Vietnam?
The coach of the guy who's coaching now Barca,
Yeah.
the guy who I went with to Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
I'm coming to that part later. But he's married to a Vietnamese
Okay.
woman because he went to coaching in Vietnam and then he met her. Well, yes. So I went to Puerto Rico for a wedding, and then after that I was supposed to go to Colombia with Gerard again, and then Gerard was gonna go back to Australia, and I was gonna go to Canada because I got my work and holiday for Canada.
Yeah.
But then one of my friends, one of my old coaches, futsal coach, when I was younger I used to play as a futsal goalkeeper, and he was my coach, and we still have a good relationship. And he's a super good coach. He has been training in Asia and many countries, in Japan, in Vietnam, and in France, in Spain, in Thailand as well. But for the first time in his life, he was fired from a team. When he was in Thailand, they fired him, and after 2 weeks, he got an offer to coach the national team of Kyrgyzstan. And then he calls me, Marc, what are you doing next week? What happened? Like, do you want to come to be the goalkeeper coach of the national team of futsal of Kyrgyzstan? I'm like, whoa, wait, where is Kyrgyzstan? And I checked on the map, and I'm like, okay, but I'm going to Canada for the work and holiday visa. He told me like, well, they are hiring me for 3 months period, because from now in 3 months we have the Asian Cup, and the Asian Cup is used to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So the best 4 teams or 5 teams, depending on who is organizing the World Cup. So this year was the first 5 teams. Okay, go to the World Cup, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm happy to go for 3 months, but I don't want to go any longer, because if I stay longer, then I cannot go to Canada for the World Cup. He told me, come on, if we have to go to the World Cup, you have to come, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't sure, and I said, well, okay, I'm not sure, but okay. And then a couple of days after, he called me like, Marc, I told you I'm sorry, but they instead of you because I was only going there as a goalkeeper coach. They hired another guy who was hired as goalkeeper coach and physical coach at the same time. So he said, "I'm sorry." Like, okay, no problem. I'm going to Canada. It's okay. And then 1 week after, he calls me like, "Marc, they fired the goalkeeper coach and the physical coach because he argued with one of the coaches. Like, what? Do you wanna come? Okay, I go, but only for the Asian Cup. I don't go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, just come." And then I went there. It wasn't easy.
But hold on, just go back a second. So when he told you, or what had you actually got organized? Where were you when he told you come? You were in Colombia at that time, or
No.
you went to Canada?
No, actually, when he called me, I was in Barcelona about to leave to Puerto Rico.
Ah, okay.
But because they hired the other guy, I went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I went to. He called me before I went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
He called me back again
When you were in Puerto Rico.
before I went to Puerto
Okay.
Rico. But he told me. But I told him, look, I already have the flights. I already have the flight to Puerto Rico and to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do? And he said, okay, you can join, instead of join now, you can join in 1 month. You can join as well. I said, okay. So I went to Puerto Rico, went to Colombia, actually went to Canada because otherwise my visa would have expired. Went to Toronto for 3 days and then flew back to Barcelona.
Flew to Boston.
Flew to Boston because I had to buy a crazy flight quickly at the airport to Boston, then from Boston to Barcelona. And then when I was in Barcelona, instead of flying to Kyrgyzstan, the national team of Kyrgyzstan came to Barcelona.
Okay.
And then we played some friendly matches here because futsal in Spain is really strong. So we played some friendly matches here.
So 5-a-side.
5-a-side.
Okay.
And then we all together went to Kyrgyzstan, started coaching there, and it was an interesting experience.
Was that something planned that they were coming to Barcelona, or?
When he called me the second time, yes.
Okay.
That's why he told me, like,
You
look,
can join in 1 month.
join in 1 month and join in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then I went to Kyrgyzstan, a fucking freezing country in the middle of Asia.
You thought you'd escape the cold winter of Canada.
Yeah, but no. It was the same thing. And very interesting country.
Yeah.
It's not very developed. Everything is pretty cheap. But I don't know, the culture remind me a little bit of India, like working with Indians, like they don't do anything and everything they do is a mess. We were having a meeting and then the day after they were doing the opposite thing we talked about in the meeting. It was very confusing. Very strange for me. First time I go to a country where young people is more religious than older people.
Young people are more religious than older people.
Yeah.
Muslim.
Because they were previously part of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So I guess by that time they were Protestants, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they became independent, at some point Muslims
Islam
appeared.
came back.
Islam came back. And then the young people to show, as I was telling you the other day, like every time younger generations want to feel different from the older ones, just think the opposite,
Yeah.
So they wanted to think the opposite, and they wanted to be strongly religious because the older ones they weren't religious.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I've never seen that in any other country.
No, I never even heard about that.
And when we were playing matches. Well, first of all, we had a 1 month training camp. Okay. And during this 1 month training time, at some point, Ramadan, like the fasting, Ramadan started. So they couldn't eat or drink during the day.
Yeah.
So my friend, who was the head coach, said, well, it's not possible to train if you cannot eat or drink. So we were living at night. We were waking up at 6 p.m., having breakfast at 6:30, going to train at 7:30, having lunch.
Were you training inside then? Because you said it was very cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, futsal is usually played in a pavilion. And obviously, if it's not cold, I really appreciate it. But yeah, we were living at night. So we were up from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then going to sleep.
Isn't this kind of cheating Ramadan anyway?
Yes. Well, no, because Ramadan is you can eat at night.
Yeah, I know, but the whole point, from what I understand, and I'm not completely clued in, but the whole point about fasting is like showing restraint, is showing your commitment to God. So when you just turn your day inside out, it's kind of like you're kind of cheating the rules.
Maybe, but who suggested that option? My friend who is not.
Yeah, of course.
And
no, I get that. You needed to train.
And the players were happy with this solution. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy. My friend wasn't happy.
Why?
Because we didn't want to live at night. It was so hard. Luckily, it wasn't for 1 month. It was for 2 weeks or something like this. But it was very hard. Very, very hard. But the players were happy with this, so that's what we had to do. Yeah. And this, and also that during the matches, sometimes at halftime, they were laying on the ground and praying.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
Really religious.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, interesting.
It was, very interesting. And they spoke Kyrgyz and Russian.
No,
Two of them spoke a little bit of English. Two of them spoke pretty good English, and then two more, some words.
Your friend speaks Russian?
No, we had a translator.
Okay.
We had a translator. Yeah. And there was one Brazilian guy, so I could talk to him in Portuguese, but he got injured.
Oh, player?
Well, goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper
one of the goalkeepers was Brazilian,
really?
but he got injured before. So before we went to Thailand, the Asian Cup.
I would love to hear his story. How this Brazilian guy ended up in Kyrgyzstan.
It's because Brazilian players, like he was from north of Brazil, which is more poor than the rest of the country. So there's many Brazilian players, football players or futsal players, that they just go abroad to get better life.
Yeah, because
So-
in the south it's too competitive in Brazil.
Yeah, and if you are a Brazilian player, even if you are a bad player, you are better than a Kyrgyz player.
Yeah.
So his dad, the dad of this guy, he moved to Kyrgyzstan. No, to Kyrgyzstan or to Kazakhstan, I think, a few years ago, to play in a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then the son went with him. So this guy spoke fluent Russian
Yeah.
because he was there for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
He was first lived in Kazakhstan, and now he had been for 5 years in Kyrgyzstan. Because he has been 5 years in Kyrgyzstan, he could apply for the passport. But he didn't have the passport at that point, and I was so scared because I told you they were very bad that they got. I didn't think they would have gotten the passport at the right time, but because of his injury, he couldn't come anyway.
Okay, but he didn't have a Brazilian passport.
He had the Brazilian, but not the Kyrgyz. But to play with the Kyrgyz national team, you have to have
Oh
the
yeah.
Kyrgyz
Okay.
passport.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, that's why he was there, because his dad moved there to become a professional player, earning shitty money, but more than what he was earning in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and just for playing football.
Yeah.
And this guy was doing the same thing now. He was earning I don't know how much, but Kyrgyzstan is pretty cheap, so he didn't need much money, and he was living just a goalkeeper. And if he would have been playing in Spain, he wouldn't play in the second league, not even the second league. You know,
Like he wasn't good, or just because of how competitive it is.
no, he wasn't that good. He was normal.
Yeah.
He was maybe like even worse than what I was when I was younger. You know?
Okay.
And I never earned $1 playing as a goalkeeper. You know. So yeah, the level is pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was curious, and we with this weird stuff, we ended up going to Asia, to the Asian Cup, and we during the first match, was sure we weren't. I was sure we were not going to qualify for the World Cup, because that meant that we had to be one of the best five teams in the Asian Cup, and like
Out of how many?
16 or something,
16.
or no, 16, no, because it's four groups of. No, yeah, 16. Four groups of four, 16. I think
It was
so.
like a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah, but I was seeing the level, and I'm like, there's no way we are one of the best five teams,
Yeah.
and we almost did it. The first match we won Japan, who was the previous winner of the Asian Cup.
Really?
We don't know how we won the match. We were super lucky, but we won it.
Yeah.
The next time we tie against Tajikistan, he was the neighbor of Kyrgyzstan, and then the last match we had to win to go to the next round as the first qualified, no? Because the group of out of four, we had one Japan, we had tie with Tajikistan. If we could win Korea, we would just go to the first position, and then go to the quarterfinals
Yeah.
as the strong team and playing one of the weakest teams, no? But we tied again against Korea. So we went to the quarterfinals, but as the second position, and we played Iran, who are the best ones, and who won the Asian Cup because are the best ones. And then still we had a second chance to try to qualify as the fifth team. So we had another match against Vietnam, we won, and then we had the final match against Afghanistan. The winner of this match was gonna qualify for the World Cup,
Yeah.
and we lost that match.
So close.
So close. No, we did way better than what I thought. way better than what I thought. But we didn't make it. The good part is that my friend was pushing me already before the match, like, you have to come to the World Cup, you have to come to the World Cup, even though we agreed that I wasn't going, you know. And because we lost, well, I couldn't go. I didn't have the possibility to go, and then I went to Canada instead.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting, very interesting. I had a lot of pressure from my friend and from myself to do a good job, because my only experience of goalkeeper coach was maybe 10 years ago with kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing to do.
And how old were these guys?
They were seniors, like it was top
Adults.
level, like adults.
Oh, like early 20s.
One of them was 4 years younger than me.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were adults.
Yeah, for some reason I thought that it was like a kids thing.
No. It was like maximum level, adults.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's how my friend got there makes sense, but how I got there doesn't make any sense.
Because you knew your friend.
Yes, but I mean, I didn't have my only experience coaching was coaching kids, and it was many years ago.
Yeah.
So how can I just jump from that to the maximum level? You know.
It's kind of crazy they didn't like ask for any qualifications or
Well,
anything.
they asked, but I was coming from Australia, you know.
Yeah, you know how
My
to get
CV was wow, this guy is so good.
And roughly how much were you making
It was they were paying me $1,500
a month?
a month, which is, I mean, for me as a coach is a lot, but obviously for a national team coach is not that much. But
Yeah.
I mean, I was the goalkeeper coach
Did you with accommodation included?
with accommodation included,
Food?
food included.
Ah, okay. So it was just here, take
Yeah, and they weren't even paying me cash, so no taxes or anything.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And during the World Cup, the Asian Cup, I had bonus. If we would have qualified for the World Cup, I would have had 7,000
Really? Just for
Bonus.
qualifying?
just for qualifying. So for one match, I missed $7,000
Damn.
plus the bonus of the winning the match. So if I would have won that match, well, if the players
Did you get a bonus for every match you won?
in the cup, yes,
Okay.
but we only won 2 matches.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it would have been very nice.
Yeah, of course. Who's gonna turn down $7,000?
But the good side is I didn't have to choose between going to the World Cup
Yeah.
or going to Canada.
Yeah. Did you get to travel the country at all?
And then when the Asian Cup was in Thailand, in
Yeah.
Bangkok. When we finished, we flew back to Kyrgyzstan, and then by contract they had to pay me a flight back to Barcelona. But I told them instead of booking the flight for the day after I arrived, give me 1 week gap. And one of my friends from uni here, he loves climbing and mountains and all this.
Mhm.
And when I told him I was going to Kyrgyzstan, he said like, "What? I'm going to visit you there." Like, really? You know what it is? Like, of course. There's so many mountains there, and I want to go. Like, okay, well. And then he came, and we did a quick tour of the country, because there's a very big lake,
Yeah.
and we just went around of the lake,
Okay.
and we went up to a mountain of 4,000 meters
Nice.
with a guide. But it was my first time going so high, and it was
Really?
yeah. I mean, the highest I've ever been was skiing, 2,000 something.
Wow, you've never been that high?
No, have you?
Yeah.
Where?
Machu Picchu.
Um,
Crossing from. I mean, I spent quite a lot of time in Los Andes, you
Okay.
know, so there are quite a lot of high mountains. I crossed between Santiago and Mendoza 2 or 3 times as well.
and how high is that?
I think that has the highest point in South America, which you don't cross there exactly the highest mountain, but it's around like 6,000-7,000 meters.
Really?
But on the bus, I'm not talking walking.
Yeah,
But
but
I've
still,
still been at that altitude.
that
yeah.
high.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, did you feel anything?
Yeah. But to be honest, those trips weren't too bad. But some of the trips that I did in San Pedro de Atacama as well, they were from there around like 4,000 meters, and there I did have some problems during on the bus. Sometimes I felt really sick. I got a bit of altitude sickness, but it was okay. You know, you drink
ate
some
Coke?
Yeah, quite a lot, and drank the teas and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, you obviously don't have coca leaves over there in Kyrgyzstan.
Not that I know.
But what do they have some kind of remedies for the altitude up there?
I'm sure they have their natural stuff, but when I went there, the guy just gave me a couple of pills.
Yeah, so you did a week traveling around Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, that was it. We went
Did
that
you
high.
enjoy it?
It was pretty interesting. Very interesting. So much nature is like a pretty unexploited, like pretty still like not many construction virgin, yeah, still pretty virgin, a lot of land, and it's very interesting that their culture was nomad, and obviously nowadays it's not, but they still keep some traditions. And one of like the friend who came, he told me like, oh, this tradition where they have like nomad games instead of the Olympic games, the nomad games. And he was saying like, oh, we were both saying like it would be so nice to see that. And then one day we're driving, and we see like a big stadium, and we can hear some noise. We stopped there just to have a look.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were gonna be able to go inside or not. We went in, no one checked us, no one asked us, no one spoke English either, so we just went through. And they were playing one of these games.
Oh, yeah?
And I hope it wasn't a real goat, but the original game is with a dead goat. They just ride horses and pick the dead goat and try to put it in a hole.
I think it probably was a real goat.
Could be, we were pretty far, so we couldn't see it, and no one spoke English. So we tried to talk to someone, but there was no way to talk to anyone. So yeah, we couldn't see that, but it was interesting to see like two teams with the horses and running and then stopping and then going all together and like a second round. It was very interesting. Very, very interesting to see that. Yep. And they have the yurts, this like the Tibetans of the Indians.
Yeah.
But there is no own style. And actually the flag, it's pretty beautiful. It's red and has like a circular thing in the middle. This circular thing is the structure of the yurt. When you look it from the inside, it has like a wooden, circular wooden stuff there, and that's what you can see in the flag. It's
Wow.
very nice. Yeah,
Cool.
very nice. Yeah, and then when this Kyrgyzstan thing was done, I went back to Barcelona, literally 1 week, and then flew to Canada, to Vancouver, on my own this time,
Yeah.
and I landed in a hostel, super expensive, and I said I need to buy a van. I need to buy a camper van, and build another camper van, and that would have been like my fifth camper van.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got one because I wanted. My idea was okay. The money I earned in Kyrgyzstan is the money I have to spend in Canada for the van and for the start and all that. So I was with my budget. I was getting only old shitty vans, empty ones,
Yeah.
but they weren't tall. They were like the short ones.
Yeah,
And I spent 2 weeks looking for vans. It was taking me so long to go to one place to the other because of the hostel was in one corner and then the vans were everywhere and the public transportation is not the best. Distances are so big.
Yeah.
So
And I remember as well that was because your SIM card hadn't arrived yet, so I
also
so I had to call the place for you to book in like the check,
the what?
like to make sure everything was okay.
True.
Check the roadworthy.
True.
From
yeah.
the other side of Canada.
Yeah. Same country is still pretty far. Yeah. It took me like I don't know 1 week to get the SIM card or something. And with a discount that I got from you.
Yeah. Gave me some credit. Made my life a bit cheaper.
And then when I finally got my van, because it took me 2 weeks to find the van, and it was raining, so annoying. And one day, between these 2 weeks, I said, okay, today I'm not going to see any vans. It's taking me every time 2 hours to go to see one van. It's raining. Today I'm staying in the hostel. But I was very antisocial. I wasn't talking to anyone or anything. So I went on my laptop and I started looking for jobs. And I applied for maybe 4 jobs. And then I keep looking for a van. And the day I buy my van, someone called me like, "Hey, do you want to come for an interview?" It was very far, but now I had finally had my van. So I said, yeah, okay, no problem. And I went there and we started talking. And the guy at some point asked me like, "How long you gonna stay here? What's your plan?" Like, and I told him because my idea was I will get a van, I build it as a camper van, and I leave the city. I don't want to live in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling him I was being honest, and like I was in Australia, you know, like I have no experience in the job, nothing, zero. It was installing floors. I don't know anything. I've done farm work and things, but I have no experience in installing floors, and I don't know what I'm gonna do in Canada. I'm not sure if I'm staying in Vancouver for how long, what I'm doing. I don't know anything. So I left the interview and I was like, this guy is not gonna call me. No, there's no way this guy calls me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day after, I got a call. Hey, you want to start on Monday? I'm like, what? Yeah, okay, why not? And then when I started, I understood why. Because I was working together with a guy around my age, long hair, you know, like, okay. And we actually became friends with the other guy. He was super big heart guy, very very nice people, and because of being happy with this my coworker and getting all the stuff for the band, it was hard because I was working 7 hours per day and then starting very early in the morning. I was pretty tired, blah blah blah. But also because I was happy with the job, you know? And it was my first job, getting back some of the money that I spent in the band, I stayed there for 3 months, even though I wanted to live straight away in the city. I stayed in the city for 3 months. For this, and also because at the beginning when I got the van, I didn't have a place to cook or a place to shower or anything. So every 3 4 days, because the job I was installing floors, we were moving around the city and installing floors in places, no? And the hostel was at the other corner, always. From everywhere we went, it was at the other corner. So it was taking me 1 hour to go and then 1 hour to go back home, whatever. So every 3 days, I was going back to the hostel to have a shower. Yeah, I didn't shower for 3 days, many times, and to cook something. And then I was cooking for the night, eating something warm, and doing some extra food for the day after. And then the other 2 days, I was just eating things that I didn't need to cook. You know?
Were you paying for the hostel?
No, I was just sneaking in.
You snuck in for a quick shower.
Yeah. So yeah, I was sneaking in the hostel, and one day I'm very happy I went into the hostel because I met 2 Catalan girls, again meeting Catalan people, and they became my 2 best friends in Canada.
Yeah.
And I stayed longer in Vancouver because also I was meeting them and I was helping them to. They were also looking for a van to buy. Well, they bought like a big one, like a motorhome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How much did they spend on that?
Not that much because it was pretty old. They 7,000 or something.
Really?
Yeah, it was super old.
But like in decent condition.
Yeah, good enough.
Good enough.
No, it was good enough.
Good enough for a couple of backpackers you were gonna
Exactly.
spend.
Yeah.
A
Not
few
for
months.
my parents, no.
Yeah.
For backpackers, yeah. And they had a house there. Like you could just stand, you could have a shower.
Yeah.
That was a different story.
Yeah.
But and during this time that they were looking for it, they spent maybe like 2 weeks in the hostel, and then they did this. They went on this website, Trusted Housekeepers,
Yeah.
and they got a couple of apartments, couple of stays in apartments in Vancouver City, and I was joining them. Like I was going there not every day, but every 2 days. You know. That's also one of the reasons why I stayed a bit longer.
You had someone to shower and cook.
Yeah. And also they show me an app where you can find showers in different places, and I found a shower close to a place where I used to stop and work on my van. There was a big Walmart parking, and then I found a spot where I was kind of hidden, and I was working a lot there in my van. And this place for showering was like a public swimming pool, and they had a shower and you were supposed to pay, but I was not getting again. So between these and there's places and all that, I was finally having a shower at least every 2 days. And yeah, that was way better. And cooking something every now and then, and spending some social time with them, because the guy I was working with, he was super nice, but he was living out of the city.
Yeah.
So we didn't spend any time together after work.
Was he a local?
He was local. Yeah. And one day that was a very so much fun story. The girls finally left the city and decided to go cherry picking. I was telling them like, why are you doing picking? You have the visa, you have the working rights. Do a better job than picking.
Yeah.
Because they met some guys that they were doing picking because they didn't have the visas, you know.
Okay.
No, but we wanna live in the nature and blah blah. Like, okay, do whatever you want. But then my co-worker, he told me he was going to a music festival in the same direction. So they went maybe like I don't know 7 hour drive. At a 4 hour drive, there was a music festival. So I told them, okay, why we don't meet at the festival? But they found the job 2 days before the festival. So they said, I'm sorry, but we're not coming because we just found the job and we need to earn money. And I was like, what the fuck, should I go to the festival or not? Because the festival was $300.
Yeah.
But chatting with my coworker, he told me that last year, while he was in the festival, he was talking to someone that had snack in the festival. And I said, then I did like, "Bam, okay, I'm gonna snag in." But I didn't want to drive for hours, try to snag in, and not being able to snag in, you know? And I didn't want to do that on my own. So the guys told me that they weren't coming, and then the night before I was like, should I go or no? Should I go or no? Should I go or no? And the morning I wake up and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna be here, because it was a 3 days weekend. I'm not gonna be here in the city for 3 days. Fuck, I go. I drove, and when I'm on my way, the guys called me, Marc, we worked yesterday, we earned like $20 the whole day.
Really, that bad?
Yeah, we are quitting the shop and we are joining you on the festival. And I was like, yay, so happy. No? But, so they were traveling in three, the two girls and one guy. And the guy wanted to keep working. So they couldn't join me. And I said, okay, you are like 3 hours. Can you at least drive something? And they said, well, we're gonna try to hitchhike. And I said, okay, at least hitchhike a little bit. And they got a hitchhike, like 2 hours hitchhike or something. So I went 1 hour past the festival, picked them up, and drive 1 hour back.
Yeah.
But that was way better than driving 3
Yeah,
or 3,
yeah,
you know?
of course.
And we finally get to the festival. It was already midnight. No, it wasn't midnight, but it was like pretty late. And we said, okay, where do we park? We tried to get closer, and then there was a guy checking like, oh, where are you going? No, we're going to the festival. But I don't know. We tried to say something, and the guy said like, okay, but not here, not this way. You have to leave.
So he knew what you were doing.
Yeah, kind of. We went to a random spot. We parked, and we said, okay, the festival is there. We go straight and see what happens. And then we start going uphill, and we see like a huge light, which was the entrance. And I was telling to the girls, don't worry, it's dark. The people who is under the light, because of the eyes are used to the light, they cannot see in dark. So don't worry. 1 second after I say that, we got a big torch pointing to us. Fuck. Guys, walk this way. And we started walking this way, and then the torch stops. We keep walking, and suddenly we see a smaller torch coming towards us. Like, run, girls, run! Run, and we find a fence. We jump the fence, and one of the girls gets a big cut in the fence. Like, come on, run. We run, and then suddenly it goes down like this. And we start to go down, thinking that the guy with the torch was following us. But we think that when they arrive to the fence, they want to jump, and they say like, fuck it. So we got into the festival, and when we got to the camping area, and then we had to go to the dance area, and there was a bridge because there was a river, and we were walking scared like, is anyone gonna check on us or not? Because obviously everyone was wearing a bracelet, and when we got to the bridge, there was someone not checking, but someone with the shirt of the festival, and I was like, fuck, what do we do now? And then at some point, this girl that was with the shirt is not there anymore. Girls, come on. We went in and we finally made it to the dance floor, and we're so happy with that. And we checked the time; it was midnight. Yeah, we're okay. We made it to midnight, but we made it.
Yeah. And
then I don't know what happened with me, but when I arrived in Canada, I don't know why, I really wanted to get high. I don't know why. Usually I'm like kind of scared because I like doing it every now and then, but I don't know, when I was in Canada, I really wanted to get high. And one of the girls had tried MDMA once, and the other one had never tried it. So we arrived at the festival, and the girls tell me like, well, come on, now get us MDMA. Like, it's not that easy. Okay, I'm gonna try. And then we start dancing, and the first guy I asked, he tell me, oh no, sorry, I don't sell, but I have a little bit left. If you want it, it's for you. What? So we had a unit that it was just a really really tiny.
Yeah.
And then we went to another dance floor, and I see a guy with a purse. And this guy says, "Oh, I only have one pill left. Don't worry, get the pill. We got the pill. We put it in the water, and we share it between the three of us." And then 1 hour after, lights on, over, like 3 a.m. or something.
The festival finished. Yeah.
What? The night finished. And we were like, no way. We cannot believe it. So we spent a little bit more time there, just chatting, and then sun came up, and we'd say, okay, well, we're not gonna stay the whole day here hiding, we just go back to the van and leave. And we checked the way we came in. It was a hill with no trees at all. Impossible to go back this way because it was gonna be so obvious.
Yeah.
So we decided to follow the river.
Yeah.
And we followed the river, and it was way easier. So if I ever go back to Canada and I go to the festival, I will just follow the river.
But you didn't want to go back that night.
We didn't have any food,
Okay.
and there was nowhere to buy anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have the bracelet, so we would have been hiding the whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't have a place to sleep or anything. It was like, yes, I wanted to be another day party,
Yeah.
but it was
Wasn't the sensible thing.
no.
Maybe
So-
you would have done it 10 years ago, but
Maybe. Yeah, probably. So we just went back to the van, and we drove back to the place where they were staying. And I was supposed to drive back the day after. But the day after, I was so tired, and I knew my coworker wasn't working the day after because he already asked for day off because he knew he was gonna be
Yeah.
crazy, And I called my boss like, "Do you mind if I don't go tomorrow?" No problem. Okay, so I stayed one more day there with the girls, and then the day after, I drove back.
did they hitchhike back?
No, I drove them to the
All the
3
way
hours.
back.
Yeah, because I was staying one day long, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a very long drive, but it was a very great experience. Like, this is one of the top moments of Canada when we went to the festival. Yeah, and then I went back to Vancouver, and the girls stayed like one more week there trying to find another job with who's better. They couldn't find anything, so they went back to Vancouver. We met, and we decided that we were going to Vancouver Island. But I had to give one week notice at my work. So I told him, okay, next week I leave. Again, the girls went to Vancouver Island with the motorhome. They arrived there, and the place where we wanted to go, it was so touristy, and they were checking so much about people living in the van. Because they had this one, it was obvious that they were living there. So they spent there 2 nights, and they said, "Marc, we got a job already," because they needed workers, but because there was no accommodation, they couldn't stay. And they said, "We are going to Squamish, to another place, 1 hour drive from Vancouver." And during this week, I already agreed a job in the island. Actually, one of the jobs that one of the girls got,
This is the ice cream shop.
the ice cream and chocolate shop. And because they needed people, and
Yeah.
because of she couldn't stay there, she needed someone. They needed someone, and I was like, when they drove back from the island, we met again, and they were telling me, "Come on, don't go there, stay here with us." But the thing is that 1 month and 1 week after that, my parents were going to Toronto, and I was like, okay, if I stay in Squamish with them, I have to run a job and tell them that in 1 month I go for 2 weeks, and then I come back, and it's gonna be so complicated. And also, I'm gonna tell the people in the island that if they hire me only for 1 month and 1 week, I go. If not, I don't go. And I kind of decided that I was gonna stay with the girls, because I said, okay, girls, I'm gonna tell them this, but obviously they're gonna say no. So I'm gonna stay with you. And I told them like this. They say yes. And I was like, what the fuck, what do I do? And the girls kept telling me like, come on, stay. And I was like, look, for me, it's kind of such a nice job working in an ice cream shop and a chocolate shop. I already agreed with them,
Yeah, you asked for the special condition.
and they accepted.
Yeah.
I want to go to Vancouver Island because I had never been in Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
I have to go there. And then I went. And I kind of regretted it because I had zero social life. People at work, they were younger than me, but there were some backpackers.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the feeling that they were already like, it was a seasonal place.
Yeah.
And we were in the middle of the season. But the ones working in the shop, they all were in couples.
Mm-hmm.
And they left in the 1 month and 1 week that I stayed there. All of them left, so they were already thinking that they were leaving, and I had zero social life. For 1 week and 1 month, I went to the gym every day because it was my shower.
Yeah.
The thing is, I couldn't sleep there in my van because my van was a cargo van, and from the outside you couldn't see you were sitting there, so I had no issues, except for one day that I went out and the police car was in front of me, and they said like, well, we saw you, like, yeah.
Did you get fined?
No, I was so lucky. That was my second last day before leaving, and they told me next time we see you, we fine you. And I was like, okay, there's only one night left,
Surprisingly, they didn't come back the next night.
No, I went to another spot.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I kept moving the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was going to the gym every day because I had no friends, nothing. I only became friend with one French girl at work, but also she had a boyfriend, so we were friends. We were chatting and all this at work, but we only went to 2 nights to eat something together after work. So my social life in 1 week and 1 month and 1 week was 2 nights out with this French girl, and 1 night out with one friend from my sister. One of my sister friends that got married, and went to Canada for the honeymoon trip.
Oh, really?
And they went to Vancouver Island, and then we met one night to have dinner.
Crazy. Crazy timing.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that was it. And then after that, I flew back to. No, I took the ferry back to Vancouver, and flew from Vancouver to Toronto. Met my parents, went to Montreal, record the first episode. Between you and me.
Us too.
And then it was 2 weeks trip with my parents. They flew back to Barcelona, I flew back to Vancouver, and then I went to Squamish to meet the girls. And I spent the rest of my stay there in Squamish.
And then you left in January.
And I left in January, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to go back to Europe in winter. And I really, that was something very, I still don't know what happened or what's happening, because I still feel like this, that, you can see how my life is or how my life has been, and I like traveling, obviously.
Yeah.
And I there's, since many years ago, actually, when I went to Southeast Asia, 2018, I really wanted to go to South America. But because at that time I didn't want to travel on my own, I went to Southeast Asia with this girl. So now that I was in Canada, I was already in America. I had no attachments at all. I didn't want to go to the winter. It was summer in South America, so it was perfect timing to go to South America. But I don't know what is going on, because it's still going on in me. I feel that if I go to South America now, I will not enjoy it as much as I think.
Why?
I could. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit tired of traveling. Not that I don't want to travel anymore.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel that I need a break.
Yeah.
And I really want to enjoy this trip because it's something that I really want to do, and I know it can be amazing. But to feel amazing.
Yeah.
Not amazing, but I need to feel like I want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still want to do it, but I'm like, yes, but it's hard to explain.
I kind of get what you're saying, but I don't think that it's kind of like waiting for the stars to align, you know.
A little bit.
But I don't know. I don't know if there's ever going to be a perfect moment for that.
Probably not a perfect moment, but if it was a very close to a perfect moment, that was January.
But you had some weddings here last summer, or no?
Well, when I came back, I just told a friend that I was back, and he told me, I'm getting married next week. You wanna come? But I didn't come back for a wedding. I had a wedding in September,
Yeah.
but I could have been
Yeah,
from January to September to travel South America and come. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was my feeling. That I don't know why I was feeling that if I would have gone at that time to South America, I wouldn't have enjoyed it full. You know.
Maybe it's true. Maybe something would have happened.
I don't know.
And
But-
you never know.
But still, I didn't want to go back to Europe in winter.
Yeah.
So the girl I was seeing there, she was very smart, and she told me, "Have you ever realized that the flights from Vancouver to Hawaii are very cheap?" And I was like, "I'm gonna check how hot it is in Hawaii. 25 degrees, perfect. How much is the flight? 300 euros one way, perfect. I'm going to Hawaii." But I didn't book the flight straight away because the stay was super expensive. So I started contacting all the hostels.
Mm-hmm.
The Hawaii has like 5 islands or 7 islands, but there's Oahu, Maui, Kauai, and Big Island. Four big ones.
Yeah.
In the 4 big ones, in total, there's like 8 hostels. I texted the 8 hostels, and one of them only replied.
Really?
Only one of them replied saying that yeah, I could go there for a work for accommodation, and I went there. Because of that, like once they agreed, I said, okay, if I'm not gonna spend that much money on accommodation, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that made me make the decision and book the flight to Hawaii, which I'm very happy I did, even though I didn't like the work for accommodation.
But have you ever thought about doing a work away? You know,
That's a work away.
That wasn't work away.
This hostel was on work away.
Yeah,
But
you
I
contacted
didn't-
them directly.
I contacted them directly.
Yeah, but if you used work away, then you have more options, you know?
Yes, but the options were pretty similar. Like the amount of hours for work you were getting.
Yeah.
In Hawaii was basically like you work and you get accommodation. You don't get any food.
No food, really. Crazy.
Yeah, but because the accommodation is expensive,
Yeah.
they use it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is still like 25 hours a week. You know,
Yeah, I know.
It's not no time either.
That was why I was pretty pissed when I got there. Like at the beginning, I was very happy, and then I accepted it. But after 1 week, I wasn't happy
Yeah.
because I was feeling exploited. You know.
Yeah, but I think we have that bias of like, well, first of all, we're Europeans and we don't like to be exploited for work. But then also after going to Australia, it's
Even worse. Exactly. Yeah. So you're totally right. And then when I was there, one of my coworkers, he was doing nothing, and I was so pissed off, but I didn't want to say anything because he was being exploited as well. So I was like, how I'm gonna complain that, hey, you're exploiting this guy, but he's not doing his job, you know? So I was like in a situation that I didn't know what to do, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy.
yeah.
But I did 5 weeks like this, and then the girl who gave me the idea, she came and we traveled together for 2 weeks, and then I stayed 2 more weeks traveling, and that was super nice. I really like this trip in Hawaii. Like the traveling part of Hawaii was super nice,
Yeah.
and I made it very very cheap because of the most expensive thing is the accommodation, and then I was doing it by like I bought a camping tent,
Yeah.
pretty heavy, and I had to carry it all the time, but I bought it super cheap. And that was my house for 1 month. Crazy.
Living out of a tent for 1 month, that is a big feat.
Yes, because it's not only that I had set up my tent and I had my stuff in there and I was roaming around.
Yeah,
No, I was
yeah.
carrying my tent, my stuff,
Yeah.
everything. Not everything. Luckily, one of the things they did well in the hostel is that they allowed me to leave part of my stuff there.
Okay.
And then I left some of my stuff there, went to this trip, and then went back to Honolulu, picked my stuff, and
Yeah.
flew out.
My last question before we go to the last few questions, then, because we have been going for 2 hours.
Again.
I said to him, I've only got an hour and 20 minutes on my camera, more or less, and he said, "Oh, that's gonna be fine. I've told most of my story." And I said, "Well, we can talk for hours and hours and hours." You didn't believe me, but here we are. How did you wash your clothes and stuff in that time? Were you into like laundromats and stuff?
When I was in Hawaii,
Yeah.
the girl I was traveling with, she was very smart,
Okay.
and she got kind of a soap paper,
Okay.
something which is super light to carry.
Yeah.
And then we were going to this public washrooms,
Mm-hmm.
and in the sink putting the water and the soap there, and it's not really clean after that,
No.
but it's better than not washing
Yeah.
the clothes.
And you were being as cheap as you could on this trip, so.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's if you meet someone that travels very, 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 very cheap in Hawaii, I think they didn't made it as cheap as I did.
No, I think that you do that everywhere you go. I don't think that I've met someone who is as economical as you. I think you are the economical traveler.
Well,
Have you met someone who travels cheaper than you?
there's always someone, you know.
I guess, but
When I was traveling in Southeast Asia, I was going to the cheapest hostels always,
mm-hmm.
and I was thinking like, wow, I'm traveling super cheap. And then one day I said, okay, I'm traveling super cheap, but I want to travel for long, so how can I make it cheaper? And there was one option that was couchsurfing, but I didn't want to do it.
in Southeast Asia.
Not in Southeast Asia. Like I wanted to have my freedom. When you do couchsurfing, it's more like you are kind of obliged to share your time with.
Yes
others people.
and no. Yes and no. I think you definitely have to at least spend a few hours with them if they're around and they're available. But I don't think it's like you're locked in to spend all your time there with them at the same time.
No, not all your time, but I don't know. I mean, this way is a way to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
And the other way was I was spending a lot of money in transportation.
And you could hitchhike.
And I could hitchhike. And actually, after thinking about this, I met a British guy, super young. He was like 19 or something like this, and he was hitchhiking everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I already had the idea. I met that guy, and I was like, maybe I should start hitchhiking. But before that, I only tried once in my life in Mexico, and it didn't work.
But then you told the story about when you did it in Malaysia, right?
No, yeah.
With the Dutch
Because I started
Yeah.
then. But before that, before I started, I only had tried in Mexico once, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I had this idea. I met that guy, and then I took a boat and crossed to the mainland. Went to the bus station, and they told me, "Oh, the bus just left. The next one is in 3 hours." I said, like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to hitchhike and see what happens." And that was when I first hitchhiked in my life.
Yeah.
And I was walking on the street, on the road, on the side road, and I see something, on the side of the road. Like when I got closer, I saw two guys like laying down like this. Guys, are you hitchhiking? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, do you mind if I hitchhike with you? No, come on, join us. They were from Denmark, also
Yeah.
super young, like 20 or something. This tall. And I was like feeling a little bit sorry because I thought, okay, hitchhiking to people is difficult three.
Yeah, it's
It's
even
super
harder.
The first car that stops after maybe 40 minutes, a very small car, 3 people in the car. Like, okay, guys, you can go. And they're like, we sat all the 4 of us at the back like this. The guy had one fake eye,
Yeah.
and he was
Driver,
driving.
yeah.
The driver had only like this eye was glass was coming, and he was driving so fast. I was in Laos.
Yeah.
The roads there are shit, and he was driving so fast. I was so scared, like sitting there with the other guys here, and at some point one of the guys touches the shoulder of the driver, and like, what are you doing? Like, and he, because they didn't speak in English,
Yeah.
so the guy said, no, he was falling asleep. Fuck, one eye falling asleep, driving super fast.
Crazy.
And that was how I first started hitchhiking, and I made my trip cheaper because of that.
Mm.
But I didn't go through the couchsurfing part. So there's always a way to
There's
make it.
always
But,
something.
but I agree that I traveled super cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Sometimes too cheap.
Okay, so we are now coming to the end of this lovely 2-hour chat. Still a bit to go for part 3. Don't know where we'll
No.
be.
Well, part 3, so we arrived to where my life is right now.
Yeah,
So part 3
pretty
will be
much.
pretty short compared to the other 2 parts.
Well, we can talk about life anyway next
Okay,
time.
yeah,
So.
I agree.
So the question from the last guest: if you could describe your life as a color, what would it be, and why?
Can I kind of cheat a little bit?
Yeah. Maybe.
You know when you look to something and when you change your position, you can see the color changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think my life would be something like this.
Fair enough.
Because if there's something that doesn't represent my life, is stability.
Mm-hmm.
So choosing one color as my life probably doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, has to be this color that when you look at it, it depends on which position or what time of your life you are.
Yeah.
It looks different. Now I've gone through many different things in my life, so random and so sometimes even opposite, that I don't know, I cannot imagine to just one color.
Yeah. What are some of the colors that you would see?
Red, which is kind of the passion. This something like very this intense green,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because there's nature and a lot of intensity,
Mm-hmm.
and also some gray, because obviously I had my sad times or my bad moments, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, something like this.
Okay, interesting. Is red your favorite color?
Red's my favorite color.
Yeah. What question would you like to ask the next guest?
My question would be, would you rather to travel? Would you rather be able to travel in time, or just be super rich at this time?
Okay. Interesting. And finally, what message would you like to share in your language?
The message I would like to share would be something I read or heard not that long time ago, and at the beginning it didn't mean much to me, but it came up to my mind a few times after. And the message is permítete ser feliz. I mean, you know what it means, but I'm not sure if all your listeners would understand. It's like allow yourself to be happy. And I remember the first time I heard it, it was like, what are you talking about? And it keeps coming back to my mind, and sometimes I have the feeling that I'm worrying about things or being angry or sad about things. And like, come on, Mark, please let yourself be happy.
It's true. I feel you there.
So that would be the message.
That's nice because I think last time you shared a message in Catalan.
Yeah, that's last time was in Catalan, and I kind of remember the message was like something like I was gonna be back in the podcast. Yes, it was something like this, and you said like, "Oh, come on, you cheated this time, but you cannot cheat next time." So I'm not cheating. And
No.
I'm saying it in Spanish because I think I read it in Spanish.
Yeah, well, it's good, and I think coming here, I've also, you know, like we've had these conversations before about Catalan and Spanish and your relationship with both of those languages, and then coming here and, you know, seeing how you communicate, like they are both your native languages, you know. So I think it's nice that you shared one and one.
Makes sense.
So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your time.
And thank you for hosting me here, obviously. It's been a pleasure staying with you here and meeting your family.
Same pleasure to have you at my hometown.
Thank you. And yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed these couple of hours, and I hope the next episode won't take as long to come out. So thank you for watching. See you soon.